How's it going, guys? Welcome to my basement. Today we are going to do some unboxing of parts, so let's roll that intro and get into it. Alright guys, so I am right in the middle of making a video on getting the engine bay bodywork finished, but as you can see I am neck deep in it right now, so I probably have about another week, maybe week and a half left of work on this before we're ready to spray primer. So I didn't want you guys to wait too long before a video came out, so I figured I'd put something together for you guys and get a parts video for you. So let's head inside and we'll have a look at what we got. So first thing I'm going to share with you guys, and you've probably noticed already that the video quality is a lot better than it used to be. I went and got myself a legit vlogging camera. So this is a Sony ZV-1F. I can never get that right. Sony ZV-1F vlogging camera. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So now we can film in 4K at 60 frames per second. It's going to be a lot higher quality. Still getting used to using the thing. I'm still used to using my phone, and this is a lot different because now I have a lot more features that I can use. Yeah, still working that out, but bear with me folks while I get it figured out. But anyway guys, I'm stoked to show you guys some of the parts I got here. I can't remember which ones I've shown on the channel and which ones I haven't, so I'm just going to show everything I got on the shelf right now. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with something small. Now I know I've shared my Downstar hardware before, but I went ahead and ordered some more because I want to do the entire engine bay and redo all the fasteners. So I went and got a bunch of dress-up washers, 20 of each size here, and I do not have the bolts that go with it. So the bolts that I will be using are going to be this style, where they're a zinc coated gold, and they were actually pretty expensive on the website. So I decided I would just go with all the black dress-up washers, and then I was going to order some of the zinc coated bolts locally because they are a lot cheaper that way, and then I can save on shipping. Downstar actually doesn't ship to Canada, so I end up having to go across the border to the States, and then I have to pay duty and all kinds of fees to get it up across the border. So it ends up being pretty expensive for me to order bolts from there. So I got the dress up washers anyway. So yeah, that's just a bit of something extra that I'm going to be adding to the engine bay. It's going to make it look really good. So next thing I got here is some fuel injector clinic injectors. Now these are a 650cc injector. It's a little bigger than I was planning on going, but these will give me the option to go for more power in the future if I choose to. These are a high impedance injector, which means I don't have to run a resistor box, so that's one less thing in the wiring that I have to worry about. So these should work very well. So next on the list is my AEM gauges. So these were all bought secondhand, but unused. Except for this one. This is the AEM True Boost. This kit normally comes with the boost controller, but this one that I bought secondhand did not come with the boost controller, but I got the gauge and everything that goes with it. And then I also have the AFR gauge, and I have an oil pressure gauge as well. So I have the full matching set. It's going to look really good in the car. Now I know I've shared this one before, but for some of you new subscribers that don't know, I will show it. So this is a brake tuck kit from Finishing Lines. This ended up being a very expensive kit because I had to convert it to Canadian dollars, I had to ship it to Canada, get it across the border, so there was a lot of extra fees. So at the end of the day, this ended up costing close to $1,000. But it is a very nice brake tuck kit. So this comes with all braided stainless steel lines, and these will replace all of the hard lines in the car, and you will not see anything in the engine bay. Basically, everything is going to run under the dash and inside the car, so there's going to be nothing exposed outside the car. It also comes with an adjustable proportion valve, which will really help me because I'm currently running a disc brake setup in the back and a big brake kit in the front, but I'm still using the factory prop valve So my brake bias is way off right now, so this will give me the option to adjust it and fine tune it so that I can finally get the brake bias where it should be. So I'm pretty stoked about this, but this is going to have to wait until the engine is in the car and all that before I actually get this installed. But it's on the shelf waiting. Alright, I know this is getting pretty random, guys, but basically I'm just pulling off every part that I have on the shelf. Kind of in the order that it's stacked. So now I got my valve cover. This has been completely stripped down, and I've got some catch can bungs welded to the back. It's in primer, and it will be painted the same color as the engine bay, which I don't think I've revealed yet. I might hold off a little bit on revealing that. If we flip it underneath, I've gone in and removed the baffle in order to get everything cleaned up underneath, because there was a lot of metal shavings under the baffle from drilling and welding in the bungs. So that is reattached, resealed. I had to drill out the rivets and add bolts underneath, and I used a lot of Loctite on there because I'm paranoid that they're going to come loose and land in my valve train. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully the Loctite holds up, but yeah, pretty stoked about getting this thing cleaned up. It's going to look real good. Alright, now this is the most expensive part I've bought for the project so far. Believe it or not, this cost more than the car itself when I bought it. So this is a full dry wire kit with everything I need to get the car wired up. So this is the plate that goes on the firewall, basically the one and only hole that I have left in the car. This will cover it. And this is the main harness, which will run to the plate in the firewall. And then I have a quick disconnect on it, so if I ever need to remove the engine, which you know I will, it'll be a very easy process. I just unplug it from the firewall and yank the engine out. So that was a very expensive piece to the puzzle, but it's one that I've been saving up for a long time, and something that was definitely necessary. So I am super stoked about this. This is a tucked harness as well, so it's really going to clean up the engine bay, and then I don't have to worry about any wiring issues because everything's already done for me. Now we've got the clutch that I'm going to be using. So this is an ACT Extreme Street Clutch. This one has the sprung disc on it. I still wanted it to be streetable, so I was kind of debating getting a rigid disc or a sprung disc, but I did end up going with a sprung disc, and based on their specs, this will hold the power level that I'm going for, so I'm not too worried about that. So this came with the clutch disc, the pressure plate, the release bearing. Now this did not come with a flywheel in this kit. I did not choose to order one because I do have a Fidanza lightweight flywheel on my other engine that I'm going to be using. It has very few kilometers on it, very lightly used, so I haven't really had a chance to look at the condition of it yet, but it is a serviceable flywheel, so if it does need to be resurfaced, I can get that done, and then we'll just reuse it. So that should all work nicely. Pretty stoked about this, and my camera's about to die. But next on the list is my ATI super damper. So pretty stoked about this. This is going to ensure that I don't have any vibrations on my crank, and it's just that added insurance that my engine isn't going to self-destruct. So I do not have any accessories other than the alternator. So I've contacted ATI, and they do say that you can remove this front pulley, which I probably will be doing. It'll give me a little bit more clearance against the frame rails as well. Only thing is I have to order the replacement bolts because these ones are too long. So I do need to get the bolts for the pulley. The bolts do have to be in there because that's the way it's balanced. So when I remove it, I'll just have to put some shorter bolts in there, and this will work just fine. I do also need to order the installation tool because this is a press fit damper. A lot of them are made so you can just slide them on. This one, they made it as a press on so that there's no chance of wobble. So I'm gonna have to order that. It's actually a pretty expensive tool that I'm only gonna be using once, but I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Some guys just say place it on the crank and then fire it on with the crank bolt, but if I strip a crank, I'm gonna be in big trouble. So I don't want to risk any of that. So I'm gonna order the proper tool yet, but this is what I got sitting on the shelf right now. Alright, I got a few more things here. Let's see if I can race through them before my camera dies here. This is my tile wastegate, or so I thought, but this ended up being a knockoff, so you can tell by the serial number there, or fake serial number. All the knockoffs have this exact same serial number on it, so paid a lot of money for this. I did not get a refund on it, and the company I contacted, they took their site down after I contacted them, so I can't even reach them now. So anyway, I'm going to use this temporarily. I do want to order a proper tile wastegate yet, but this will at least get everything mocked up, because a true tile will bolt up the same way as this will. So at least I can get everything mocked up in the bay, and then when I order a proper one, I can just swap it out. So that's my plan anyway. This is also the dump tube for it. So for now, I'm just gonna have this facing straight down to the ground. In the future, I might tie it into my exhaust. We'll kind of see how everything lines up. But for now, this will work just fine. Alright, now this kit I got from Treadstone. Comes with the oil feed and the oil drain, and all the fittings you'll need. So this one, I believe, is a 4-foot line. Yeah, 4 feet. So that's plenty of length, and they ended up charging me the same price as one of their other kits with the shorter line in it. So I was pretty stoked about that. And yeah, it has all the different fittings that you would need, and all the AN fittings. Just another piece to the puzzle. Hopefully I can get to that soon, because I'm getting pretty sick of bodywork already. Man, I almost forgot about all this stuff. So this is all my AEM stuff here. So I got the AEM fuel rail and pressure regulator. This, I believe, is a fuel filter, but I may not actually be using this, because this is an OEM replacement filter, but I will not be using the OEM location. I'm probably going to end up using an inline filter, because I'm going to be going with a fuel line tuck kit, so I may not end up using that. This is my Blocks brake booster delete kit. So got the reservoir and master here, brake lines, and then this is the sandwich plate that gets mounted to the firewall. Pretty stoked about that. That is going to look super clean in the engine bay, and it's going to give me a lot more room without a big old brake booster in there. Alright, this is the last thing on my basement shelf anyway. So this is my catch can. This is just an eBay catch can, which is basically the same design that you would get on any of the higher end ones as well. This is a pretty common style, and they all work the same way. But we've already mocked this one up in the engine bay and got the studs mounted for it. So that's all finished. We also got the lines made up for it as well. So that is all ready to go in. We're just waiting for paint, and then this can be installed. And my battery died, but luckily we got through everything in the basement. I have a few more things in the garage I want to show you guys I got on my shelf, so let's have a look. Alright, now don't mind the dust, everyone. I am in the middle of body work. This will all be cleaned up in spring. But for now, this is where we're at. So I got my Hasport mount kit here with the black poly bushings. So all the hardware and everything is here. Got my intercooler piping all fabbed up. It's all welded and ready to be installed. I think my intercooler is around here somewhere. Well, I don't know where the heck I put my intercooler. Oh yeah. Guess my intercooler is right back there, but you've all seen that. Got my intake ready to go. Everything on there is shaved and smooth. Blow off valve here. It's a Greddy knockoff for now. I'll probably go legit as soon as I can afford one. And as for engine management, I will be running a Honda S300. It is used, so fingers crossed it works. I have not tested it yet, but I got one of those. And I think that's all I have. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting to show you guys some parts because there's just so many scattered everywhere right now. But yeah, that's a good majority of what I have kicking around. So I've been putting in some mad overtime at work to buy parts because I really want to get this done. I don't want to wait any longer on saving up for parts. So I've been putting in a lot of extra hours, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. Only problem with that is the more time I spend at work, the less time I spend out in the garage doing work on the car. So it's kind of the trade-off right now. But at least I can keep accumulating parts, and then once I have everything I need, I can kind of slow down on the overtime and then get back to work out here. Come spring, it's gonna start warming up outside. That's really gonna give me the motivation to get this thing up and running. But anyway guys, that's all I have for this one. It was a bit of a short video today, but I just wanted to put something out for you guys so you had some content. I'm still in the middle of this bodywork here in the engine bay. It's probably gonna take me about another week or so. Hopefully no longer than that, but the way it's been going, it should be about another week, and then we can start laying primer. So pretty stoked about that. Hope you guys are too. If you like the video and you're stoked about the build, give me a thumbs up, guys. Drop a comment below, let me know what you think, or if you have any suggestions about other parts that I should get, just let me know. Also, I don't know how many of you know this, but we do have a merch store and we do have stickers for sale. So if you want to support the channel, support our builds, definitely go on there and pick up a sticker. Shipping is free in Canada and the US, so definitely check that out, and we'll see you in the next one.